Hello, everybody. Thank you so much to everyone who is joining live tonight, and thank you to everyone who is watching the replay. I'm so excited to chat with y'all tonight, hang out for a little bit. Hello, I already see some hellos in the chat. Let's start with our first question every single week. What are you drinking while we're chatting? If you're here live, drop it in the chat, whatever it is you're sipping on. And if you are part of the replay fam, I want you to let us know in the comments what you are drinking, if anything, while you're watching the replay, or what you're doing while you're watching the replay. I know a lot of you sort of treat it as a podcast and listen to it more while you are doing something else the next day. I just have tea today. It is black tea. We are going to Yom Kippur services after I'm done. So I have a little bit of black tea to give me a little bit of an extra boost before we go. So that is what I am drinking. And like spilling on myself while I'm trying to talk and drink at the same time. All right. Sweet tea, water. Ooh, a pineapple high noon, Rebecca. That sounds delicious. Cheers. Pepsi with extra ice. Stocks pumpkin cold brew. Yum. Water, kombucha, a white monster. Not being good today. Laura, some days you just need it. Amanda, water, but running to grab my Diet Dr. Pepper. You need what you need, right? I love it. I love it. Thank you for sharing. Let's get to any questions. What questions do you have? What do you want to chat about? If it's just a topic that you want to talk about and you don't know how to phrase it as a question, you could just drop a topic in the chat. But I am here to answer any questions that you have about goals, planning, life, anything. I do have a couple prepared questions, but I'm going to give everyone who is here live a chance to ask questions before we jump into those that were submitted on Instagram. Lots more water, a lot more water, and eating black and white cookies. Ooh, Erin, that sounds yummy. I take that back. I love cookies. I don't like black and white cookies. I'm very odd. Rochelle, what tier is texting with you on Patreon? It is the $30 tier. So there's 3 tiers for Patreon. The $5 level is the Facebook group and the monthly silent co-working. The $10 tier also includes the monthly Q&A call and the monthly goal setting session. And then $30 includes all of that, plus a daily accountability text from me, as well as the ability to text me whenever you want, have questions or anything you want to talk about. Jesse, first question, PowerSheets cover. If you guys have not seen on Instagram, they have shared 5 of the 6 PowerSheets cover. So I do know what the 6th one is. I will tell you, I picked the green, the super, super bright green. Amanda, what are black and white cookies? If you Google black and white cookies, it's a very specific kind of cookie that I'm pretty sure is really common to the Northeast. I didn't know what they were until I moved here. Oh, this is a great question. How do you cut down using too many planners? So first off, I don't think that there is any such thing as too many planners. If you have a system that works for you and it's a lot of planners, that's great. If you feel like your system is overwhelming you and that's why you feel like you have too many planners and you want to cut back on them, I would make a list of all the things that you want to actually plan in a planner, and then match that up to a planner that you have. And instead of trying to fill empty space in planners, if that makes sense, start with the stuff that you need to plan and then pick planners to go with it rather than the other way around. I think we are all very guilty of buying planners because they're beautiful and we want to support the company or we like the cover, and then getting them and not knowing how to incorporate them into our lives. More is what we're trying to do here is incorporate our lives into the products. So that would be my tip there. I also would advise maybe just cut it all out. If you're really just I'm feeling overwhelmed, I don't even know where to go, cut it all out. Go to a to-do list for a week. Just a notebook, go to a to-do list for a week, and then slowly incorporate things back in. I also feel like I want to add the caveat that I've said before. I think it's okay to leave empty pages and planners. If there are just pages of planners that you like to use and there are other pages in that planner that you leave empty because that part doesn't work for you, but the other piece of it is really good for you, just do that. Don't feel like you have to come up with a use for every page in every planner. Melissa, I love this question. How did your teams do for the first week of fantasy football? You won this week against your husband's best friend. So I went 2 for 3. 2 of my fantasy teams won and 1 of them lost. And then also my Longhorns and my Cowboys lost. So I really went 2 for 5 is how I look at it for the weekend. Tina, this year was, this was a rough year. Do you think I could use the Moxie Life Planner next year if I never use it this year? Absolutely. You can always jump into the Moxie Life planning system and their goal setting system, even if you've never used it before. It's pretty, it's set up very well, tells you exactly how to use it and like what to do each week. So I think you could absolutely jump in with that. Cindy, would you mind sharing how I budget? I do have a budgeting video. I will link it for you. It is from a couple of years ago, but my budgeting method has not changed. Let me caveat that. It has changed because it includes another person now. So I changed the spreadsheet to include his income and his expenses, but like the joint expenses, but the actual setup of the spreadsheet has not changed at all. So I will link that for you and you can check that video out. Rochelle, you're thinking teal, but waiting to see if there's a purple. I'll not tell you about that last one. Jesse, how on earth do you get your dots lined up in your PowerSheets? Okay, so first off, they are not perfectly lined up. You probably hardly ever see my PowerSheets straight up and down. If I show them in a picture and anything, they're almost always in an angle. And when they're at an angle like that, you can't really tell that the dots aren't perfectly lined up. Also, when I put the dots down, I do take my time. I don't use tweezers, but I do I make an effort to take the time. That's one reason why you don't ever see that step on camera. I will do the writing on camera, but the actual placing of the dots, I do very slowly and methodically. It also, I think, has gotten easier over time. The more that I've done it, I feel like I've gotten better at it. Monica, this is a great question. You're seriously thinking about the PowerSheets, but I'm nervous because I haven't been great at keeping up the goal stuff with Moxie Life, but you're thinking about not having weekly actions and reflections. So I did a video last year comparing the PowerSheets and the Moxie Life. If you aren't familiar with either of them, they are both goal-setting tools. They are goal-setting planners that help you figure out your goals, set goals, and follow through on those action steps. They are both, I think, brilliant in their own way, but they are very different. And I go through this in this video, some questions to ask yourself to try and figure out which one would work better for you. But what you're referring to here is one of the things that I think can be a pro or a con for the Moxie Life, is that it has you check in every single week. And while there is value in that because you are doing that reflection every week, you can change your action items on a weekly basis if they're not working for you. For me, that is more of a detriment because then if I don't get to it for a week, I'm not setting up my action items for the week versus on a monthly basis. For PowerSheets, I can set them up for a month and I'm not changing my mind. There are definitely some months that first week doesn't go well. And I probably would change my mind on some of my action steps if I was in the Moxie Life system. But because I'm in the PowerSheets and I've written down those steps for the entire month, I stick it out for the entire month. So that is one of the reasons that the PowerSheets are a better system for me personally. I would encourage you to go back and watch that video again if you watched it last year or watch it for the first time and just think about the answers to those questions and really think about if this which system would be a better fit for you as we go into the new year. I'm happy to answer this question. How many planners do you use and what are their purposes? So right now I use the Amplify Daily Planner and I use that just the daily pages. I actually use it both for personal and work right now. Video coming next week. But it is, I leave the weekly and the monthly pages in that planner completely empty. I just use the daily pages. Then I use my Cultivate What Matters PowerSheets. I use all pages in that planner. That's not true. I don't use the monthly layout in the PowerSheets, but I love my PowerSheets and I use all the other pages. And then I use the Moxie Life Planner vertical for memory keeping, but I don't use the goal setting pages. I tried at the beginning of the year to have a setup for the goal setting pages and the notes pages and all the things, and it did not work well for me. So I just use the vertical weekly layout for memory keeping. And then I use a Google Cal. That's the other planner that's part of my lineup all the time is my Google Cal. Oh, and I use the weekly planning pad from Cultivate What Matters, this guy. So that is my lineup. Yeah, I love the teal. Yeah, I love it. And it's super bright and pretty. But since I used teal this year, I felt like I needed to change things up, and I can't do teal again. That was my thought. What are your favorite YouTubers at the moment that you would recommend? So I tend to watch YouTube videos for information, like more like I'm gathering information about my specific goals. So right now I'm watching a lot of weight loss YouTubers. I've talked about a couple of them before. So there's Nikki Gets Fit. She does follow Weight Watchers. I do not, but I still get a lot of value from her videos. And then there's Louise Lane. Her name is actually Lauren, and I get a lot of value from her videos as well. And then who else? I love Cindy. Her most recent video about a Kanban board makes me want to do that. I'm not planning to set one up anytime soon, but I love the thought process behind that. And like kind of thinking how I could maybe do that myself in a different way. Jessica Braun is like the one beauty YouTuber that I pretty much watch. She also does a lot of lifestyle, and she's like the one channel I go to on YouTube for like relaxing and entertainment pretty much. Those are the channels that like when they upload a video, I will watch it that day. That's pretty much it. I am subscribed to a lot of other channels, but those are the ones that I right now watch regularly every week. Do you have a video about how to color code on Google Cal? So honestly, it's just changing the colors. Like if you make an event, you can just change the color. I've changed up my color coding system a number of ways. I've found that less is more. I don't have a set video on this because for me, there are so many other people out there who are much better at Google Cal than I am. In fact, Shay Budgets posted a video recently about Google Cal that I thought was very helpful, and I actually learned something from that video. I only have a handful of colors. I keep it very simple. The one thing I do that I think is helpful for me anyways, is I do different gradients of colors so that it all is kind of in the same category, but there are certain things that are a darker version or a lighter version. So for example, everything Plan with Laken related is pink. If it is a scheduled Plan with Laken related event, which actually there's a calendar for the patrons that they get access to, a Google Cal that has the lives and all of the Patreon calls, or if it's an Accelerate Your Goals call, it's like a dark pink. And that's just so I can see like the light pink are the things that I schedule, and the hot pink are the things that like are with other people and like can't be moved. And then same thing with blue. I have like light blue, like super light blue is routines, medium light blue is workouts, and then dark blue is social events. Bright yellow is calls, so that I like know you're going to be on a Zoom call, like when there's a bright yellow. And then gray, my 9-to-5 job is gray. So I just have it. So it's there, but it's not like taking up the whole screen. I think that's it in terms of colors on my Google Cal. Amanda, are you liking the weekly vlogs better than Day in the Life? Are you liking the weekly vlogs better than Day in the Life? Probably not. Amanda, she is the one who edits all these videos. So let's give her a round of applause for all of her editing skills. I think the weekly vlogs are more work. They are typically longer, and they upload one day at a time, as opposed to one day just handing her all of the footage after a Day in the Life. They're hit or miss. There's pros and cons. Like today, I didn't have anything to vlog about today. There's going to be no footage from today in the weekly vlog. I just like, there's nothing to talk about today. And I guess PowerSheets covers, but like by the time the vlog goes up, that'll be old news. So like it feel like days like today feel like, I feel bad that I'm not vlogging, right? Like when I do the weekly vlogs, I have this guilt on days that I don't vlog. But at the same time, it's nice because then I can vlog the highlights, the things that I do want to share along the ways. I don't know. It's working for now. You like them. It's working for me. I will keep up with it for now. Obviously, we will change it up for Vlogmas, and then we'll decide then what we're going to do in 2022. Naomi, the coral is speaking to your heart. I love it. Lumi, I'm so glad that you are updating with us. They called and offered you a position I am so excited for you. I'm so excited that you finally took the leap and applied for the job. And no, oh my God, I'm just so happy. I'm just so happy for you. Thank you for sharing with us. Amanda, you made yourself a digital Kanban board after watching Cindy's video. Where? Where did you make this digital Kanban board? Because I feel like I need one. Oh, this is a great recommendation. Jessica Stansberry has a great Google Cal video. I agree with that. Yes. Oh, okay. Hold on. I lost my spot. Lots of congrats for Lumi. I'm so excited for her. Leah, I love the weekly vlogs. They're your favorite. Okay. I'm glad that you guys like them. I know. Have I made any Vlogmas decisions? Lisa, I have made some Vlogmas decisions. More to come on this, figuring out, really working through things with Amanda and figuring out what the plans are and what we're going to do. So I don't have anything to share quite yet, but still trying to figure out how frequently vlogs will be, how to incorporate December daily, what other types of videos will fill in on other days. As with every Vlogmas, y'all, there will always be pre-recorded content. I don't ever foresee a scenario where I'm doing daily vlogs every single day because I'm just not a vlog channel. I mean, I do vlogs all the time, but I have other videos that I need to want to upload, especially that time of year. So many goals videos. I mean, there's like wrapping up December, wrapping up Q4, wrapping up 2021. Whoa, 2021. And then sharing my goals for 2022, so on and so forth. So there's still a lot of other videos that time of year that I couldn't imagine doing just vlogs, but still trying to figure it out. Melissa, I like the tending list for Cultivate What Matters, but the entirety of the goal setting overwhelmed me. Do you know if they plan to sell just tending lists? I don't think they have any intentions of selling just the tending list. Like that is part of that's part of the PowerSheets. And so I think it will always stay as part of the PowerSheets. What do you mean the entirety of the goal setting overwhelms you? Because the tending list is the goal setting, really part of it. All the prep work, is that what is feeling a little bit overwhelming? Because if so, my biggest tip there is to just set a timer for each page, 5 minutes per page, and you could be done in like an hour. Okay, maybe like 2 hours. You did it in GoodNotes. You just drew the lines and made it on a blank sheet. I like that idea. Thank you. Yeah, I need Cindy to come make me a Kanban board too. Amy, this is a fun question, and I'm going to tell you why I always struggle with it. If you were making your own planner, what would you include? And here's my issue. I think one of the things I love about planners, and especially one of the reasons why I love coils, is I love keeping all my planners open to the right page. And so while at one point, and remember when I got my own like custom A5 petite planner made, while in one world, I feel like I want to have all my things coiled in one beautiful planner that's got, a health planner that I love and a daily planner that I love and my tending list, like all these things. I don't think that's true. I think I like having all my separate planners spread out. So I'm going to answer this question talking about my ideal daily planner, because I do not feel like there is a daily planner out there for me that I really like. So it would be probably A5 sized, but I'm open to a 7x9, but an A5 size. I need hourly time slots and half-hour time slots, preferably pre-printed. I am excited about that Moxie Life Daily Planner, y'all, but I like putting down washi every day for the hours. Like that is another step. I'm just telling you my ideal planner. And it would go from like 6 to 8 half-hour time slots. There would be a to-do list section that's got a reasonable number of to-dos, but not as many as like my Amplify planner. There would be a section for me to write tomorrow's ideas that pop up for tomorrow. And then it would be on great paper, leaning more towards white, like whiter paper. The Moxie Life paper is like my favorite paper. And a regular coil, like a regular, normal silver coil. That would be my ideal planner. Jesse, do you think there's a product missing in the planner community or wish was out there? In terms of a physical product minus the amazing daily planner I just described, no. There is like an app or a digital thing that I am thinking of that I really would like. And I'm going to like hunt for it. And if I can't find it, I don't really want to be the creator of a digital app, but there's something that I'm thinking about that I really want digitally. Lisa, this is such a fun comment. I was able to use your break it down skills with one of my employees, and he was promoted yesterday. So cool to use something I learned from you to see someone else succeed. So you want to ask about my highlight of the week, Lisa? Like that comment. Like thank you for sharing, because that's really awesome. Has your office changed their going back to work policy since I've updated you? No, and I talk more about working from home in Friday's vlog and how I'm unvolunteering to go in voluntarily. Right now it is still indefinite, but they've always promised us that they will give us a month leeway, 30 days. So the earliest rate would be like mid-October if they told us today. Who knows? Who the heck knows? Ariel, would Sam ever do a favorites video? He might. I've never asked him to do a favorites video, but I feel like that could be fun, and maybe do the same kind of categories I do, but make it Sam's favorites. I don't know how valuable his favorites would be for y'all. Like it's going to be like video games and anime and Broadway and life insurance. Andrea, work is crazy, and I wonder how family sees me when I'm working crazy hours. I know that your mom was also an accountant. How do you remember her during busy seasons? Yes, my mom was an accountant for a Big Four firm, and so I do, and she did audit, and so she did work crazy hours. It was really only April. It really wasn't like every quarter end, so I don't remember like not being around her except for that like actual year end. But my mom was busy a lot. Like it was busier, but it wasn't a lot. I don't know. Honestly, I don't remember that much of it. Like I don't remember that much of it. The thing I remember the most about my mom working when I was growing up was a period in high school when she traveled a lot. She had a lot of clients that were in like Indy or Iowa, or my mom's audit experience was on the PNC insurance side, and a lot of them happened to be in Iowa and Indiana. And so she was driving there and staying overnight a lot. And so she traveled a lot. And that was also the time period that it was just me and her for some of the time, because my siblings, she had already separated from my ex-stepdad. So my siblings were with them, and I was alone for like a couple days at a time randomly in high school. Random. All that to say, I don't have super strong memories of her working super busy seasons. So honestly, you're probably thinking about it more than they are. Okay, Melissa, all the prep work is overwhelming to you. So the prep work can be overwhelming, but it is 1,000,000% worth it, in my opinion. Again, I think the biggest advice I can give you is schedule time to work on it, 5 minutes per page. Turn on some music that you like and just like go through. Don't worry about perfect handwriting. Know that you probably won't get everything out of your head on every page. You can always come back and add more later, but it is so, so valuable. And this year, if you're able to sign up for the virtual day where we will literally go through the prep work, I say we because I'm participating, but the PowerSheets community company is organizing the day, and we will go from start to finish through all of the prep work. Tracy, I am constantly setting the same mini goals every day, week, steps, water, exercise, etc. Are they classified as routines or goals? So we did talk about this once. Somebody asked about the difference between habits and goals. And the way that I answered that is that those are action items to help you get towards a goal. So if you are just setting those action items without really knowing what your end goal is, that is one of the reasons why you might be falling off, because it's not attached to a goal that is motivating you. And so I encourage you to think about what is that ultimate goal that these action items are going towards. Also, if you are setting the same goals every week, and it's because you're hitting them. Like you don't actually say if you're not hitting them or not hitting them. If you're hitting them every week, now they're just routines. And now they're just part of your life, and they're just things that you do all the time. And I don't think that they're goals anymore. I think that, okay, hold on. I just see you have a second comment. Let me read your second comment. I'm not bored and they are moving me towards the bigger goal. Is this counterproductive? Would you suggest shaking them up? Definitely do not. If they are working you towards the bigger goal and you are not bored, 1,000% do not shake them up. It is not counterproductive at all. Even though they have become more routine for you, they are still action items working you towards that goal. And I would not mess them up if they're working for you and you're not bored. Any recommendations for setting up an office, a craft room to work from home? So I would just define what's important to you about this space. For me, like having a lot of desk space was really important. Having my calendars where I can see them and access them at all time was something that was important. Define what is important to you about the space and then buy things to support that desire. I think it can be really easy to get overwhelmed with like all the pretty office designs and all those things and then and just buy all of them and then try to force them into the space. I basically came into this office and said, I want an L-shaped desk in this corner and I want it as big as possible, really was my definition. And I wanted it to be either white or glass. I was open to a glass desk too. I just couldn't find a big L-shaped one that was glass. And so I measured the wall, the brick wall does this little indent. So it literally could only go that far. And I measured how big it could be. And then I basically just Googled based on that. So define what's important to you, measure the space, and then search based on that. Yeah, Shannon, I also considered Canva for a Kanban board. I also considered doing one not digitally, but like not on a wall, like on a poster board, on a notebook, in a notebook. I don't know. I have thoughts. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by somebody I need to block. Okay, Sam's favorites might be fun for Christmas presents. That's a great idea, Tabitha. That's a great idea. Okay. Oh, now I lost my spot. Jess, here's a fun question. When things open up, what country would you want to travel again that you've never been to before? I really so Greece is like my number one country that I want to go to, but it's also like, I feel like I want to go for a long time. And so that's probably number one. But if I was going for a more realistic answer, it would probably be somewhere in Europe, like France or Spain. We had a flight to Paris booked that we had to cancel or postpone. Corey, this is also a great tip. I find it helpful that I tried to separate the craft section from the work section of my office so one can be tucked away when I want to need focus on the other. I kind of do have the same setup where I have two pieces of my L desk and like one is work and one is not fun. It's playing with Laken work, but it's work and different kinds of work. I just happen to sit at this one when I need the window. Otherwise, yeah, I try to keep them separate. Melissa, a Kanban board is a project management tool where you basically create sticky notes for breaking down all of the steps for a project, or it could be for a goal. That's how I'm looking at it. And you put them into sections. So it's need to do, currently working on, and then done. And you like have them all up in the need to do. And then each day or each week, you move them into the currently working on section, and then you move them down into the done section. And then you can literally see the progress that you're making visually on the board. And it encourages you to break it down, which I love. There's a lot of things. I would, if you don't follow Cindy, I'm not going to spell her name right. If somebody will drop her name in the chat, I would appreciate that. She just did a video on hers. She is using it just for her work projects, for her business, but I would go check that video out. Okay. It looks like I'm all caught up on questions, and I don't know if comments are just slightly delayed. I'm going to answer a couple of the questions that I got submitted on Instagram. If you follow me on Instagram, on Monday, I did an Ask Me Anything and had a bunch of questions submitted. Some of them I was able to answer really quickly in an Instagram story. So if I could answer them in 50 seconds or less, 15 Instagram story length, I did them on Instagram. If I felt like it was going to be more than 15 seconds, I saved them for here. So I have a couple questions ready to go. Yeah, I know, Brianna, I could do Trello. I have tried Trello so much. Trello, I tried Asana, and I can't make any of them work. Okay, so I loved this question. Is your current job your forever job? I got my job at 22 and I love it, but I'm struggling to know if it should be my forever job. I think this is a really common struggle, even if you're not 22 and you're like, I don't know if this is the job I want to do for the rest of my life. It does not have to be the job that you want to do for the rest of your life. To answer the question, I have no idea. I have no idea where my life is going to take me and what my jobs might change. I think that prior to, I don't know how long ago, it was very common to go to school for something, get a degree, get a job with that degree, and then that was your job. And the goal was to work at that company and that job for the rest of your life. And that's very common also in my company. And I just think that that's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of pressure to know that you're going to enjoy doing this thing that you're doing for the literal rest of your life. You have no idea where life is going to take you. And I think being open to changing your mind, if you're no longer enjoying that job or that job no longer fits you for whatever reason, it's okay to let it go and find something that makes you happy. Work is such a big part of our lives. 40 hours a week minimum usually is a lot. And if you're not enjoying that, now I'm not saying that you're going to love every job that you do. And that is definitely a privilege to be able to change jobs if there is something that you are doing that you don't enjoy. However, it is still life is so short and time is so precious to do something 40 hours a week that you absolutely hate just because you went to school for it. That's the part. Just because you got a degree in it and you spent however many years working towards that job, if it is not providing you the same level of happiness, income, whatever it is that you wanted it to, or it was supposed to, or it did at some point in your life, it's okay to let it go. In fact, one of the people I'm working with one-on-one, this is exactly what we're doing. And I am not going to share her age with you, but she is not 22. And that the job that she's been in for a long time is not serving her. And so we are working for her to be happier doing something else. Okay. I'm trying to make sure there aren't any live questions. You think Notion is better than Trello or Asana? Kate and I watched your video. I tried to also understand Notion, and I just feel like none of those project management tools work for me. I don't know. Is there a planner group I can join virtually? I'm not sure what you mean by group. There are lots of Facebook groups that are all geared typically towards certain planners that you can absolutely join. And then some local areas have groups that are doing virtual stuff right now because things are closed. So I would maybe look for that. Andrea, I may have missed this last week, was curious on the love story with Sam's mom and how she ended up marrying her high school sweethearts. I don't know if I said this during last week's or if I think I talked about it in a vlog. Maybe it's the vlog that's coming up. It's not that long of a story. They both, they're originally from Baltimore. They both moved to different places at some point in their adult lives. She moved to Houston and he moved to Arizona. She kind of got active on Facebook after she split with her ex, and they just reconnected on Facebook and started chatting. And then when they were both home in Baltimore, they hung out, and yeah, the rest is history. I just realized the computer's not plugged in. Let me plug this in really quickly. So yeah, it's not super complicated of a story, but it is very cute. Naomi, I love this. Your job today doesn't have to be your forever job. You've been at the same company for 50 years and have had 4 very different types of job, 8 roles, each with increasing responsibility and money. So that's just it. You don't have to even change companies sometimes to change jobs. That's what I did. I changed jobs within the same company. But that still doesn't mean that this is going to be my forever company. Who knows? Who knows? Corey, how do you reset after a tough day or week? So most of the time, if I'm having a tough day or a tough week, well, let me take this back. I used to reset with some sort of like splurge meal. And full disclosure, I used to get like whatever my favorite food was. I would order cookies. I would basically just eat a bunch of things that like were supposed to make me feel better. And most of the time I felt worse afterwards. So I am working on that not being how I reset after a tough day or week. I really try and I get out of my head everything that I know that I want to get done in the near future. And then I take a break. And I'm like, all right, I got all the to-dos out of my head and now I'm going to take a break. And whether that's something as short as like a bubble bath and then like going to bed, maybe it's watching one of my favorite movies. Maybe it's like turning off my phone and like calling my mom for an hour and just like talking. No, okay, that was counterproductive. But you know what I mean? Like not looking at social media and just like talking to somebody. I had coffee with a friend today and it was so nice just to like not look at my phone for an hour and talk to her. And those are the kinds of things that typically reset me and just like get me refocused. Yes, I do feel like a job not being a forever job is something that this generation is changing. But I will say my dad is a great role model for me in that regards. He worked for a bunch of different companies and then finally at like 40 started his own company because he was just like, this is what I want to do. And I think, yeah, and nothing has to be forever. Okay, let me tackle one of the other comments that is similar to Corey's question that somebody asked is, what is your approach to managing life when you feel overwhelmed? Because it's usually a similar situation when I've had like a bad day or rough day, rough week. It's usually I'm also feeling overwhelmed. The first thing is get it all out of my head. Literally write down anything that I could possibly like think about. I usually will do part of it typing because things come out faster on my head with typing. Then I will do part of it with writing. And then I also typically when I'm overwhelmed, I usually haven't taken a break and I need some sort of break. So I take that break and whatever distance, whatever length of break that looks like. And then I start with a really, really small step. I go to that list and I say, what is really small? What can I do in 5 minutes so I can do one thing and get that thing checked off? Amy, yeah, trying to do something you enjoy in order to take a break and reset. Writing notes helps you when you're overwhelmed. I love that. Similarly, these are all kind of very similar. I got a question about how do you prevent burnout from work question. So first off, I think work and like life burnout are very different in the sense that one is typically more within your control than others. Talking about work burnout, we actually just talked about this in the Patreon Q&A over the weekend. And we have a member of our community who works in HR and she was like, I'm going to put my HR hat on and I'm going to talk about the fact that you need to be taking your breaks. Like you need to be not even just a lunch break, but like other breaks as well. I think like you're supposed to have a break every, I don't remember how many hours and how long it was supposed to be, but like more breaks. And when you're salaried, we typically don't take those breaks. So you need to be taking your breaks. If you are feeling incredibly overwhelmed with the amount of work that you're doing, it's a conversation that needs to be had with your supervisor, with your team leader, whatever that is, talking about the amount of time, the work to time ratio, and that hopefully your company can support you through not hitting burnout. In terms of life burnout, which most of the time, if I hit life burnout, it is of my own making and that I am trying to do way too many things in way too short of a time. And for me, it's learning, and this is something I have learned a lot over the last 18 months. This is one of probably my top learning experiences from this whole thing is that I need rest on a regular basis, daily. I need some sort of daily rest. And I'm going to put in quotes because there are a lot of different aspects of rest that can be applied here, but rest needs to happen every single day. I cannot go from getting out of bed to getting back into bed straight without a break and expect to be able to do that long term. It's just not feasible. And I used to do that. I used to do that and be like, well, then when I take a vacation, then I'm going to relax and do nothing. That is not sustainable. I needed rest every day. And then I needed rest every weekend. I needed a significantly longer break every weekend. And now that I'm able to schedule that in, I am way better about not hitting burnout. That means I have to say no a lot more than I used to. Or I say not yet. Like, we have something scheduled with a couple a month from now, October 15th. Because I was like, Sam, there are no days between now and then that we can hang out with them. Like, there are, between everything we have going on, we have also I have 2 weekend trips between now and then. I was like, there's not time. And this is the first day that I can say yes. And he was like, okay. So we made plans with them for October 15th. So I just have become more protective of my daily rest and my weekly rest. That is really helping me not feel burnt out. Let me get back to the questions here. I started taking 1 to 2 days off per month. You're lucky enough to have vacation to do that, and it has helped so much. Yeah, I think if you're not, like, use your paid time off. Also, use your paid time off. Use your personal days. Use your sick days. Like, you are given those legally. Use them. It like makes me so sad when I hear people say, well, they like couldn't carry them over and they just lost this vacation time. Even if you're just resting at home, which is struggle for me too, trust I get that. It's worth it though. Rachel, do you use essential oils or diffuser, or do you have any oil recs that aren't super expensive? I do not use oils or a diffuser. I don't have anything against them. I just have never gotten into them. Okay, there was one more pre-submitted question, which is a topic I feel like I talk about a lot, but and maybe I feel like it might need its own video, but I just wanted to give her a quick answer that I could then maybe it needs to be its own video. But how do I pick a goal that just doesn't feel like a to-do list or a task item? We talk all in Accelerate Your Goals about goals versus tasks. And the truth is that either you can put it anywhere. Like, there is no right answer, whether it should be on a goal list or a to-do list / task list. Like, there is no right answer. You just have to do what feels right for you. And instead of spending the energy debating which list it goes on, either just do it or put it on a list and let it go. The big thing I talk about is that a lot of times there are some to-do items that feel like to-dos, but until they are things that we do regularly, they might be goals because we're trying to improve them. So, for example, if you don't feel like you do a good job of like going to see your doctors regularly, it might be a goal for you to schedule doctor's appointments. And it's a goal the first time because you haven't been doing it regularly. But then once you schedule that first one, it's pretty easy usually to schedule the second one. They kind of don't let you leave the office without scheduling the next one. Now it's a task. Scheduling the future ones are a task or a to-do item. So don't feel bad for putting things that are to-dos on your goals because you're trying to improve them and make them a regular thing. On the flip side of that, try not to just fill your goals up with a bunch of to-dos, and not leaving space for all of your other goals. And that's one of the benefits of setting your goals at the beginning of the year, at the beginning of the quarter, is that you have something to link those back to. So the to-do items on your goals list links back to the actual goal, and it's not just a to-do item. I hope that was helpful. Oh, I love this. Your company allows us to take mental health days every so often to recharge the brain. That's awesome. Favorite fall candles. Andrea, I'm not really super, I don't know what the names of them are. I like the smell of apple in my candle. So anything that incorporates apple, and I like cinnamon. I'm not a big pumpkin candle person. And then I like the ones from Bath and Body Works. We've talked about this, that smell like men's cologne. Those are my favorite candles. I think you said this may be the last live session of Accelerate Your Goals. Do I have plans to open it all time with pre-recorded sessions? Absolutely. I am working on creating the pre-recorded version of it that you can purchase at any time and do at your own pace. Brianna, I love this question. Have you started to brainstorm goals for 2022? I started brainstorming literally over the weekend. And by brainstorming, I mean, I created a new page in my Good Notes app in my iPad, and I wrote down 3 things for 2022. I'm not going to tell you what they are. Well, I'll tell you one of them because you can probably guess. It's to get married. That's one of my goals for 2022, to get married. Otherwise, that's all I've done so far. I do kind of like these bubble map, like mind maps, when I like brainstorm. So right now I have like 3 categories, right? And I will go throughout the next couple of months before I start working on my prep work, and I will come up with ideas off of those. I also will come up with ideas of things I want to do this quarter that I don't have time to do, and those will also end up on 2022's list. Yeah, I feel like it's a good goal, right? Like to get married. Oh, good thing I didn't put that on this year's goals. Oh, man. Yeah, I think I mentioned this in a few places, but just to reiterate, I also keep a running goal list for like multiple things. So I have a running goal list for the next month. I have a running goal list for the next quarter. Right now, they're obviously flipped because setting quarterly goals will come before the month. If it were last month, I would have like September and then Q4. Then I have a running goal idea list for the next year. That one I usually don't start until like now. And then I have a running goal idea list for like someday. Like someday I might want to do X, Y, or Z, things that I know aren't going to happen within the next year or two. A lot of those goals are like languages, house buying, traveling, those kinds of things. But like, it's almost a dreams list of like things I want to do someday. All right, that was all the pre-submitted questions. I'm glad I was able to tackle those from those who submitted them. So keep in mind, if you follow me on Instagram every Monday, like if you're watching, especially if you're watching the replay and you have a question, go submit it in that question box next Monday. I'm going to do that every week. And really short ones will get answered on Instagram stories. Medium-sized ones will come here. And then long ones, like potentially that goal versus task question, will become its own solo video. Any other questions? Anything else on your mind? I'm also so excited for you guys to see some of the new PowerSheets accessories besides just the covers. Okay, that's it. I'm not saying anything else. So excited. I feel like there's a delay in the comments. Like they're there. I know they're coming because this one says 6:45 and it's 6:48. I don't know why they get caught up. They get caught behind sometimes. Come on. Come on, comments. Oh, I guess not. Rochelle, after you get married, will you be sharing photos? Absolutely. I don't think that I will ever plan to like release my entire wedding album on the internet, because a lot of those photos will include people that may not want themselves on the internet. But I will definitely share photos, as we go. Have you ever been bored with a planner? Absolutely. And I will just definitely switch it up. Lisa, now that you've been focused on your health, what are your favorite snacks? Great question. So I'm not a big snacker. I tend to just like drink another cup of coffee or tea or water as my snack. And I try to like just eat kind of 3 meals. When I do need snacks, I eat a lot of like cheese and lunch meat are some of my go-tos. Some sort of vegetable and like a dip from Trader Joe's. So either cucumber or celery, and then like the pimento cheese dip or like the buffalo chicken dip or the guac. And then apples and cookie butter or peanut, trying to be a little healthier, peanut butter. But I also love the apples and cookie butter for a sweet treat. Will you do another PowerSheets video like last year? Susan, if you mean like a compare, like where I flip through and I tell you what's changed and what my thoughts are, absolutely. I will do a video just like that. Did they get rid of the not matching markers this year? You will see. You will find out. What are your favorite podcasts in any genre? So the podcasts, kind of like YouTube videos, I'm subscribed to a lot of podcasts, but then there are certain ones that like I will click listen to the week it goes live. So the ones I'm loving right now are Losing 100 Pounds with Corinne. Again, you can tell they're like very related to my goals. Yes, and Judy Holler's podcast. Emily Lay's podcast, Simplified. I love that one too. John Acuff's podcast, All It Takes Is a Goal, which I've talked about before. I think that's it. In terms of like, those are the ones, and they almost all come out on different days. Is there a Tuesday? Oh, I do have a Tuesday. I literally, like, that's my week. Like, I listen to that podcast the day it comes out. So John Acuff's is Mondays. All It Takes Is a Goal. I listen to Chasing Simple from Amanda Warfield on Tuesdays. Yes, and from Judy Holler on Wednesdays. Emily Lay Simplified on Thursdays, and Losing 100 Pounds with Corinne on Fridays. That's my podcast lineup. That'll be a fun Instagram post, I feel like. I know cheese is such a good snack. I've just been buying cheese sticks from Trader Joe's because I'm lazy and I don't want to cut it up. So I've just been buying the cheese sticks, but I love cheese as a snack. So good. I think that's it in terms of snacks. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. The Quest protein chips. Yes, Lisa, I know you like a sweet to end your meals. Have you found any new ones? No. So I usually keep on hand a couple of options. I like having options for my sweets. And I've been very much working on not just like eating all the sweets in the house when I have a bad day, which has helped. I'm allowed to keep options. We always have some sort of ice cream in the fridge. I usually have a dark chocolate and then the Simply Light milk chocolate from Trader Joe's. It's like a all natural milk chocolate. And then I also, if I'm still somewhat hungry and I want a sweet, I will make a shake with the caramel Quest protein, a banana, and some like almond milk. It's really good. Oh, I like this question. You're reading Essentialism and just read the chapter on importance of play for creativity. How do you incorporate play into your life? I don't know that I do a good job of this, of incorporating play. I play with Charlie. Like, we have playtime with toys and stuff. So I feel like that's maybe playtime. I just realized that if somebody's watching this and has no idea that Charlie is my cat Charlie and I have playtime and we play with toys for her, the cat. Just clarify that. I don't know. This is something I do also want to work on, Brianna. The ideas that I have for something I'd like to get back to playing the piano. I just need to like buy a keyboard. I'm not sure where it's going to go, but I would like to buy a keyboard, get back to playing the piano. Sam and I like to play games, but we just don't do a good job of it. We just end up sitting on the couch and watching TV. So I would love to like maybe get back into playing games. We play games with like friends, like we have couples that we play games with, but we're not good about playing games, just the two of us. But that would be a good way for us to bring play back into our lives. Yeah, no, I need to work on that. I keep hearing about The Sims, man. Everybody keeps talking about The Sims. Amanda, Chrissy, what is this? What is this the magic that I need? I mean, I know what The Sims is, but I've never actually played it. But I feel like maybe I should. Like Sam plays video games, and I feel like I just don't have anything like that. Like reading is the only kind of like hobby that I do that for fun, like when I read fiction, that when he plays video games. I don't know. Something I need to work on. Okay. It is almost 7:00 and I need to go eat some dinner before we head out tonight. So I am going to ask you my final question. I want you to let me know in the comments, what are you going to do this week to make progress on your goals? What is one small action step that you can take? It doesn't have to be huge. It doesn't have to feel like it's making massive progress on your life. One small action steps that you can take between now and the next time that we chat to make progress on your goals. If you're here live, I want you to drop it in the chat. And if you are watching to the replay and you've stuck it out to the end, you're amazing. I want you to drop it in the comments. What are you going to do this week to make progress on your goals? Finish your digital Kanban board setup. Oh, maybe I need to make that mine too. 5 minutes of reading today. I love that. I love that. Are you reading fiction or nonfiction? Get back to drinking water. Drinking water can make all the difference in so many ways. Learn to manage your time better. I would encourage you to maybe get specific on what that looks like. Like, how are you going to learn? What resources are you going to tap into? Continue your daily walk or bike. Susan, you've got this. Picking up your little arm weights, even if just to move them to a place where I see them and feel guilty. Oh, Naomi, I love it. I love that. Getting your steps in daily. Yeah, I don't know how you get so many steps in every day. I I mean, sometimes I don't even leave the apartment, so that's probably why. Crafting and reading more this week. I love that. Leaving at work at 5 and not staying late. So good. It'll be there tomorrow. The to-do list will never be done. Work on your bullet journal for the book you plan to write. Melissa, that's so exciting that you're writing a book. Congrats. It is so fun. Y'all, all of these action steps are so different, which is honestly one of my favorite things, is that everybody's goals are so different and everybody is working on different things to create a life that makes them happy. And that makes me happy. So I'm going to end this here. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, please click that subscribe button. I upload new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday focused on helping you achieve your goals. Thank you so much for watching.